Yes, they're Jack. Well, they're Jack. Well, they're Jack Wild. Yes, and Crackerjack. On a mango tree. And Crackerjack number one with their bullet in a power pack. Tits on the peak. His saddle's fleek. They gotta catch him if they want him to hang. Cause Judge's off track and gives me the flag. Rebecca's gonna catch him in a deadly trap. So look at him now. He's making a play. Now try to put your legs and get out of the way. Cause they're Jack. Yes, they're Jack. Well, they're Jack. Yes, they're Jack. Well, they're Jack.
Should we begin?
Go ahead, man. It's your week.
What are we doing with our lives?
You've already deferred it to me, I see. Buddy Shot 181, Crackerjack week with Crackerjack 1 and 2, or the sequel, Hostage Train, but in our realm of existence, it's known as Crackerjack 2. The first one starring Thomas Ian Griffith, or as we always say on here, Tig, from an inside joke where I saw on a random post that was from a forum, I guess. They call him Tig, and it's like 20 Tig admins or whatever needed to celebrate his birthday.
60 years of Tig.
Yeah, and they put like a Jesus crown on him. And then Crackerjack 2, Hostage Train, which actually, if it was Crackerjack 2, Hostage Train, and it was, it's not a bad title. Starring Judge Reinhold. So,
yeah.
Different lead. Same character.
As Jack Wild.
Right, in both. So, just like Darkman, we've got same series, but two different actors playing the same character, essentially.
Yeah. I was really excited to watch these movies.
Yeah. We will find out if that excitement continued once we go over the poll here. This is not going to be any big surprise, but I'm going to let you go ahead and guess anyway, since it's your week.
Total zeros.
Yeah, on both. It was. Just
I think
we're
the only people.
I think
that
it
ever
should.
seen
Honestly,
movies.
people should have been able to vote question mark this week,
or like veto that we actually do the episode.
like
do
shit.
something else. Anything but Crackerjack.
It's a great lead up to our yearly Halloween spectacular. That's okay though. I had some fun. I had fun watching these films for the most part.
I had a blast watching these. They're not good,
right?
But I had fun watching them.
There were definitely times when I was just like, "What am I doing right now?" But there were other times when I was cracking the fuck up. But it wasn't for any reason. It was like, I guess we'll just get into it here.
Yeah.
Start with I'm assuming Crackerjack 1, even though I guess you could do them in any order since they don't tie together for whatever reason.
And who cares about the stories? So Thomas Ian Griffith is one of our favorites.
Yeah.
And I discovered that he was in stuff besides Karate Kid 3, later in life.
Yeah.
So, there's a bunch of Tig movies out there that I'm excited to watch. Crackerjack being one of them.
Sadly, the biggest shame for me, at least, is that looking through his IMDb, it's he's done stuff, but he essentially transitioned over to writing a lot of successful stuff. He writes a lot of movies and TV stuff you probably wouldn't know about, CIS and all that kind of stuff, or CIS. What? I meant CSI. Yeah, I'm cisgender.
Crime investigation.
He created cisgenders. No, and he, but a lot of his older stuff was this, where it's straight to home video. The only real one I think we've even talked about and we haven't watched on the podcast that was theatrical was Karate Kid 3, because we watched
and Excessive Force.
The Reba McEntire one that was straight to freaking home video.
Great movie.
Crackerjack, freaking what's that one where he
I already forget what the title was.
Cut the fuck out. Ulterior Motives.
Ulterior Motives, yeah.
And
good.
you said,
Excessive Force was a theatrical release, although it was a huge bomb. It was in theaters for
But that one,
week.
That's
a real movie.
You can actually tell that money was put into it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
that came out in 93, and this is 94, 1 year later.
Yeah, 1 year later, he was
making a shitty.
He was eating the dregs of society.
He had his one shot, and sadly, it failed.
Yeah, which is a shame.
No fault of his and no fault of that movie, because Excessive Force kicked ass.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
It's funny because like some people, it's like you know they'll have careers where they fail upwards and Tig failed downwards.
The Rock's been making horrible action movies
Right.
for 20 years, and Tig made one that didn't succeed, and he was done.
Yeah. Maybe if he was a thing now, he would fail upwards.
Maybe.
But then he wouldn't. Maybe he wouldn't have the talent. Because
Maybe.
The Rock does not have the goods to back it up.
No.
He's no Batista, that's for sure.
But maybe he could still come back as Crackerjack Wild.
Yeah. As Baptista says, or as
Baptista?
as Santino says. I don't think you're so ferocious, the manimal Baptista.
Nice.
You got a big mouth, John Cena. I don't know. We'll have to check and see if Santino ever did a movie. That would be a good one to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Movie would probably suck.
Jingle
though.
All the Way forward.
Yeah, it'd probably
Bullshit.
be horrible. So, back to Crackerjack, number 1 with a bullet. This is a power pack. I don't know about number 1 with a bullet. Maybe it is number 1 with a bullet. Go this shit.
Starring Thomas Ian Griffith as Jack Wild.
So this was someone I actually had on my list, and when you were like, we're going to do Crackerjack, I was like, holy shit, I had this on my list.
Yeah, I knew it was on your list because you said that at one point.
Yeah, I have pretty much all of, well, not all of them. I think like the main ones I can find because he's been in like a couple of Reba McEntire music videos as like a non-speaking role where like his wife's dying or something.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah, hilarious. But like, due to that, I was just like, okay, there's a couple, like, because I think we've kind of now covered his big action films like Crackerjack, Arterial Motos.
There's a couple more out there, but not
but
many.
they're not.
They're running out.
They're really not. You know, this is like somehow the hype.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the next ones we watch are probably going to be even worse.
I'm holding out hope, but yeah, you could be right. But I don't want to just blow through them because then there'll be no more Tig movies to discover.
Yeah, we kind of did that with Ernest. Well, I guess we still have some of the dregs to watch for that.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out for, like, there's a documentary or whatever that's still being made that I want to pair with Ernest Goes to Jail. So I'm kind of waiting. Because Ernest Goes to Jail is, like, one of the last big ones that we'll talk about before Disney kind of, like, rescinded their deal and stuff. And they started making, like, you know, Ernest Goes to Hell and shit like that. Or Ernest Goes to Egypt. It's, like, cool.
Yeah.
I have a feeling though, if Jim Varney was still alive today, they might have actually made that at one point, like a
Ernest
like
Goes to Hell?
Yeah, or
Dude,
like
that'd
a
be
horror
amazing.
film or something. That would be fun.
Nothing could be scarier than Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah, true. Jim Varney was the shit.
Popping off.
Yeah, let's just talk about everybody we like on this podcast instead of Crackerjack. We're delaying the inevitable here. Yeah.
I thought Crackerjack 1 was better than Crackerjack 2.
Oh, yeah. By fucking far. No, I don't know. I don't want to, like, crap on Judge Reinhold here, but, like, I was watching him and I was like, I just couldn't buy him as, like, an action guy.
No, not at all.
And, like, as an action hero or whatever. And it sucked going from, like, Thomas Ian Griffith to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that is kind of a knock on him, but it's mainly because Thomas Ian Griffith actually he went on a journey, and, like, then they reset the journey in Crackerjack 2. It was like he was back to square one.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude.
Yeah, Thomas Ian Griffith is, like, acting.
Yeah.
And Judge Reinhold is, like, doing just a full-on comedy performance.
Yeah, he's just
like,
there. It's like...
He's trying to make as many goofy faces as he
Right.
can, like... Which I found funny.
It was one of the things that got me through the film.
Yeah. It was funny, but it was, like, just totally 180 from what Tig's done.
One thing that they reuse billions of times in 1 and 2 is the fact that Jack Wild's wife gets the fucking Adrian Monk's wife treatment, where she gets fucking blown up.
Yeah.
And, like, he's just trying to find who killed him, or killed her or whatever. And, he's yelling at her like, hey, don't fucking do that shit, you know, fucking get out. She's like...
a comically funny thing.
Yeah, and the best part is, it's like they didn't even have the money to, like, blow up the car or have a shot of a car blowing up, so they just put a explosion over and the stuff just turned orange. I was like, okay. But it's like, that's kind of the first thing you see in the first film. They kind of go into more, like, detail, but you never really get, like, they seem to kind of change who was the trigger man.
And yeah, they definitely.
Who actually was behind it 10 times.
Yeah.
It was like one of those deals where they finally show that, like, Jack Wild was, he was getting too out of control and he had to take his family, who he had like 2 sons or 2 kids and his wife, out of town, just like in Excessive Force. Yeah. He had to get out of town. Because the mob was going to, like, kill him or whatever. And, like, he's like, if they can get to me any way they can get to me, they're going to try to kill you and us or whatever. And so what does he do? He pulls up to this fucking gas station and lets this random dude he doesn't know mess with his car.
Yeah.
He was like, the guy's like, hey,
cautious.
I'm Mr. Mafioso here and I want to check your oil. And he's like, okay, go for it. I'm going to go inside. Yeah. And he walks away and he's like, where's that guy? And then the guy just blows his fucking wife's car up. Or I guess it was maybe his car. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the backstory of...
and then 1 year later, he's still haunted by...
Yeah.
He believes he failed,
and then
he
in the
turns
second
into the biggest
film, it's
prick.
like, what, 8 or 10 years later, and he's still haunted by something that he got over in the first film. I was like, this is fucking... Then when that started, I was like, oh, God. But, did you see the slipping in the shootout in the first hallway?
No.
A henchman was like, he just fucking fell over. I was like, oh, man. Did you see how fucking Tig kills a guy from behind a wardrobe that's literally there in a hallway, and that's the only thing in the hallway is a random wardrobe, like, and he didn't know that there would be someone behind him?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that in a fucking film before. It was like something we would do back in the day when we were like, let's make a haunted house, and there'd just be like a fucking thing in the middle of a room that we would like hide behind. It's like, what?
Put that thing in cardboard over.
Right. Nobody will be suspicious of it. You walk into a huge solitary room, and the only thing in it, in the middle, in the center, is a fucking table. You're gonna think, I wonder what's going on here.
Did you like Tig in this movie?
So he kind of starts off as like an asshole, but you kind of...
He's the world's biggest prick.
Right, you kind of find out like what's going on like with his life, like why he's the way he is and stuff, but he's still like a total dick.
I love how like he leaned into being like the surliest person no one should ever want to be around.
Like there goes the Boston. They throw him a surprise party and he fucking decks his brother. That's when I was like, what the fuck is going on in this
happened
film?
Because Tig, like...
Yeah.
I've said it before, but he's like the scariest actor out. He's like a head taller than everyone else. He knows karate. Yeah. And he punches this dude with like a death blow. That could have killed someone, dude. I couldn't believe it. Not like, the fact that he just punched him, but how hard he put his whole force into it.
He put his
excessive force.
Pretty much.
I was like, okay, this movie is really silly.
And he's also pissed to be taking a vacation. I was like, there's no way you're getting me onto some dumb mountain. And then you can only
I'd be like, fine, stay home, asshole.
Yeah, next thing that happens is they get the Roddy McDowell trolley fucking sequence here.
Yeah.
From Columbo. It's like, who saw that coming? Like, what if that was the end of the movie right there? Okay. That's the end. You can totally tell this is made for TV because it's fucking 4x3.
Yeah. Even on the DVD, it was like a copy of a VHS transfer, like full frame. It looked pretty crappy.
Yeah, I was like, dude, this looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
And also, they were stretching for art on this because on the back there's just like a random fucking henchman that like wasn't in the movie. I'm assuming the only special feature is the film on that, right? And
trailers.
Interactive menus, trailers.
Yeah.
For what other Tig
Crackerjack 1, 2, and 3, and then some Cynthia Rothrock movies randomly, but they're all in German because this is a German DVD.
Yeah. It's funny because like I've seen that like Germany gets a lot of like random releases that we never get over here. Like they have like the only, it might have changed by now, but like years ago when I looked, they got like a special edition Turtles 1 like release that not only had like commentary on it, but it had like deleted scenes.
Dude,
like there was a deleted scene at the end of the movie where they hang outside like the news, thing, and like we're actually real, and the news guy's like, whoa.
That's how I got my the Fan Blu-ray. It's a German. It's only on Blu-ray in Germany, and it says Der Fan.
Der Fan. Yeah, I just think that's weird.
Interesting. Tig, we're going on a hiking.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Fuck off.
He's such a jerk.
It's like, cool. He's like, this guy is like the dude that you do not invite to a D&D session.
Yeah.
Or a fucking improv.
I get that he's hurting,
right.
but like, don't take it out on your family who's trying to help you.
He's like a complete piece of shit.
Like,
random ADR. Come on, Iceman. You don't have all day. I was like, when they're like setting up the fucking...
Is this where the old man goes down the fucking crevasse?
Yeah, the guy that's like their fucking... Yeah, he just goes down the crevasse and it's just like, okay.
That was like a comedy shot.
Yeah, I was like...
Ah!
Did that guy come back later or something? I was like, when he showed up later, I was like, dude, what is this?
So stupid.
Also, Tig unpacking his luggage and he just pulls out a big liquor bottle.
Oh yeah, he's a raging alcoholic.
Yeah, he's drinking and then he's got like his gun and they take his gun away from him. And then later on in the film, when of course fucking Die Hard happens in this film, fucking he's like, it's a great idea to fucking not take your gun with you. And I was like, I mean, what are the odds that this is gonna happen? It's not like fucking this happens all the time.
I know. So this movie is a Die Hard ripoff.
Yeah,
which I like that genre quite a bit, so I'm always down for a good Die Hard ripoff.
It can be.
Die Hard on a ski resort.
It's essentially just a fucking terrorist takeover.
Yeah, it's still a ripoff.
But it's like, that's what the Die Hard genre is, and like, it can totally work, but like, sometimes it's just like, we had no other ideas, because that's exact kind of what they do in the second one, too.
Yeah. This is not one of the better ones.
But
what'd you think? So like, his partner at the beginning is telling him like, you have a death wish.
Yeah.
All the guys at the station call you Crackerjack.
Right.
I'd be like, why? Like, I don't get it.
Because he's crazy, I guess.
Like, he's going crackers?
Well, yeah, like Crackerjack is like somebody, I guess we don't use that term anymore, but it's like someone that's fucking insane.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I learned something.
You never watched Darkwing Duck? There's a crazy character in that called Crackerjack.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, now you know. And guess what?
I stopped at DuckTales.
You fucked up. But speaking of him unpacking his luggage, like, they take his booze away, and then he's got a flask like fucking McDermott in Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
This dude needs rehab.
Yeah. He definitely needs, like, some sort of fucking psychology or something, because, like, there's deeper issues here.
Did you like the when he goes into the cave and it's a cave straight from Star Trek Voyager?
Yeah,
like, the set was so crappy
like
looking.
TNG. I was like,
Actually, it was like almost like a high school play, like production values. It looks so crappy.
Yeah, and it's like later on you find out that like the swimming pool somehow leads into it. I was like, what?
Okay. Whatever.
A concrete swimming pool goes into a fucking mountainous crevasse. Jack runs off to get wasted and smoke. I went, okay. He's just... Dude, both these movies are just the fucking I'm too cool for school leather jack fucking, like, you know, leather jacket fucking convention. The first movie starts the second movie starts and all these, like, bad guys, all they have is leather jackets on. It's like, okay, dude. This was like us back in high school. Like,
oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, like, yeah, and the one lady, the guide lady, is partaking in the fucking hot spring. And my thing is, like, he just wanders in there, and then he says, I'm sorry, and I'm like, what was the plan here? Like, why were you just walking around? He just went to it randomly, and why is there no one else in there except for her? Like, I was like, I mean, obviously it's to set up them, you know, talking and, like, forming somewhat of a bond, but it's kind of it's a lot of this movie and in the sequel, it's very like they're not, things just happen and they're like scenes of convenience. They're not
like 2 hours later they're like in love.
Right. It's not like this happens, therefore this happens. It's this happens and then this happens and then this happens. Like storytelling 101.
Did you see who played the guide? Nastassja Kinski, daughter of Klaus.
Yeah, I was like, oh. What's the matter with you, Amario? You know, eat your food. I went, okay, dude. We've got the Italian mob boss laying it on, like, thicker than shit here. Yeah. This guy was, like, going for the fucking Oscar. He's like, I wanted to see the Pope one more time to fucking erase my transgressions. I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't have fucking killed a bunch of people as a fucking mobster. He's like, I know I'm gonna fucking die of a heart attack, please. And I'm like,
also, the Pope just pardons anyone who asks him to.
right, and you're gonna get into see the Pope why? Like, he's not just gonna be like, hey, you're part of the mob, let me fucking see you. Like, okay. Yeah, like, he's like, you're pardoned for fucking killing people.
What did you think of when Crackerjack spots the mafia boss? That's probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah, come on, piece of shit, fuck you. I was like, Jesus.
The one thing I will say that I liked about this movie is it like goes hard on the R rating.
Yeah.
Like, there's good violence, tons of swearing, mainly by Tig,
Yeah.
and like so much gratuitous nudity. I was like, at
Yeah, I was
least it's
kind of
got that
shocked
going
about
for
that.
it.
I was like, this is on TV or something? Maybe this is on Showtime or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much info.
I was like,
about-
what the
about
fuck
these
is,
movies.
who's this for? Because usually made for TV, I mean, I guess made for TV movies now could mean anything, you mean?
Yeah.
But,
But I mean, there's just straight a close-up shot of boobs.
Right.
in those movies.
and in the sequel, I think, too, right? Yeah, it's like, I don't know how you feel about this, but one thing I kind of got a little annoyed at was that, like, when you finally get to some action in this film with, like, Tig, he constantly sucks. And I was kind of like...
The action in this movie sucks.
And I was like, Judge Reinhold is almost always winning his fights, but, like, Tig is almost always losing his fights, and he wins by, like, luck, like, 99% of the time. And I thought that... You know, I'm not over here thinking like, hey, Steven Seagal, but like that, at least that's more entertaining than a fucking action hero that's getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
So he can beat the ass of someone that's like less than him, but when it's someone that's on his equal footing, like a terrorist, he gets his ass handed to him.
I totally agree with you, except there's one exception. The end of Crackerjack 2, when fucking Judge Reinhold gets his ass handed to him by an old man, and his wife has to kill the main bad guy.
That is true.
I was like,
I forgot
what the
about
hell?
that. By that point, I was kind of tuned out. I was like, but then I was like, wait a minute. Well, it's even worse than that because, I mean, I guess we'll skip ahead. Should we wait till we talk about the fucking... They blow like a C4 fucking CD up in his face, and he still gets the upper hand on Judge Reinhold. How?
I know.
He gets like flashbanged, and he then beats the guy that he got flashbanged.
He won.
Ass.
Good thing his wife was there, or, like, Crackerjack's done.
Well, she pulled a gun on the dude, and then he took the gun from her, and it's like, dude, this guy, what the fuck?
I've never seen a movie where our main dude fails in the final fight, and his wife kills him.
Yeah, because even in the first one, fucking the henchman that he betrayed fucking saves his ass.
Yeah.
From the bad guy that's older and fucking more feeble than him, apparently. I forgot it's even worse than I thought. Holy shit. I thought this scene was, like, so weird, but it was, like, it was cracking me up, kind of, because, like, so Tig is watching a woman undress, and he says, "This is low even for you, Jack." And fucking, like... It's playing like the Super Mario Battleship music from 3. It's like while the fucking like bad guys are fucking taking over the place.
All this talk of Crackerjack,
Yeah.
I need a drink.
Okay.
Do you want to try the Tig beer?
Yeah, let's open it up. And have you tried it?
Nope.
Okay. What's it say?
Miles the Prince, a Belgian-style table beer. Which I had to look up what table beer meant. Because I've never heard that before.
As opposed to beer that you will not drink on the table.
Apparently table beer is beer that's made with very low alcohol content.
Oh, okay. Huh,
This is
interesting.
the light stuff.
It's even lighter than Bud Light. Or maybe comparable. I don't know. Speaking of which, did you see, I think it's either Bud Light or Coors Light. They have like a special Bengals thing out right now. Like case.
Yeah, one of them does. I forget which.
And I was like, the one with the actual cans would be cool because they both have like, what's it called? Like the same thing. But
Cheers.
it like breaks. I'm like, shit.
To Crackerjack.
I don't know what's it smell like. It smells like.
It smells good. Oh, it's really good. I like that a lot. delicious and nutritious.
I'm not so sure about delicious. But, it's the most palatable thing I've had on the podcast. It wasn't. What's it called?
So we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Just wait till you try the Crackerjacks.
We're off to a great start. 30 minutes into this review. Topless woman Ice Cube play.
Yep, some gratuitous nudity.
Yeah, so that's something I remember. Well, I don't really remember seeing, but I think was a thing in like these kind of like sleazier films.
Softcore.
Like, yeah, where like there's Ice Cube play.
I think
they
made.
Is that a thing? Like fucking people putting ice cubes on their nipples and shit.
I remember they made fun of that in what was that movie? The one that made fun of Top Gun, like the parody, Hot Shots. He's like putting ice on her, and then at one point he cracks an egg on her stomach and it like fries up.
Yeah. I have a note here that says this movie isn't half bad so far, but the soundtrack is screaming made for TV. It's like
it's pretty garbage.
Yeah, the first one and the second one, it's so shit. I was like, it's not only that
bargain basement.
It's not only just the soundtrack is like not great. It's that it is used like all the time. Like it's not like a good soundtrack like doesn't overpower shit, and this is literally, it's like, it'd be like if I put a soundtrack over this whole thing regardless of what we were doing, and it's just like the person just slapped a fucking hour something track on here and just let it play and said, okay, I'm
totally
done.
I hate that too.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
I agree.
Bad guy says continue on for the night, like continue what you were doing, and then when someone like starts to do something, he gets killed, and I was like, well, that was a fucking lie. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is when I kind of started to get pissed, because it was like Tig punches a guy twice in the face, and then the guy somehow still fights back and beats his ass, and the only thing that has him win is that like a knife that was in the door closes on the guy by the wind, and that kills him. I said, dude, fuck this movie. What?
I love that, because then Tig was like, hang in there.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
who
just
wrote
hated
that?
this. At this point, I was like, fuck this movie, because it, not that part, but because he's so like fucked that like he can't, like he punched a guy twice in the face and had the jump on him essentially, and like they were like, I guess he's so weak that 2 punches to this guy's face wasn't anything, and like somehow the wind was enough to fucking knock the knife through the guy.
This is not a good showcase for his skills, and Crackerjack is not a great character.
I mean, I could understand if like Thomas Ian Griffith wasn't like a master in fucking like martial arts, but he is. Like, he's right up there with anybody else action star wise. But fucking they didn't do it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean if they actually put something behind this, and this was like a theatrical film, and this was like, you know, he's off his game, or like he's drinking, like it comes across that he's drinking so much that the reason why he's losing these fights is that he's fucking wasted and he picked the wrong time to like come to this place and drink and stuff. I could see, okay, that makes sense why he's losing these fucking, but it's like, it's never played that he's fucking wasted.
Yeah.
Like, so there's really no excuse for him to like destroy his brother, and then, I mean, I guess he didn't know it was coming, first of all. I bet if his brother knew it was coming, he probably would have like parried him and kicked his ass. But like, if there was some reason behind this, I could get behind it, because I'm not like, every movie should have an unstoppable action hero. Like, there's something to be said for someone that's like Die Hard. He's the underdog, but like here it's like he's shown to be a master but also an underdog, and it's like that doesn't work for me.
I agree.
Mob boss has like a random heart attack. 43 minutes in, and Tig gets his gun finally, which he like loses instantly or something.
I have one big question.
Yes.
What is Christopher Plummer doing in this movie?
I don't know, man.
He's been nominated for 3 Oscars.
Yeah,
why is he doing this trash?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And he's not good
what
at
is
this.
Tig doing in this movie?
I know. It's a shame.
Honestly, they should have made both movies with Judge Reinhold. It wouldn't have been any different.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the sequel would have been more entertaining if Tig was in it, but only because he is better. Yeah. But, like, the movie still would have sucked dick. Like... Jack enters a room and has a gun to 2 bad guys, and he says, "Lose the weapons. Lose them." Then a dude throws a lamp, but, like, either they didn't have the lamp on the day that they filmed, like, Tig's side, or, like, they didn't want to, like, waste a lamp, and all we hear is, like, an ADR sound, and then he shoots the bad guy that threw the lamp. So what was the bad guy's plan? Like, just to break the lamp and be like, kill me first, like, because he didn't throw it at Tig. I was like, what was the plan here?
The action in this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Like, they had one job and they...
This was, like, below shit you would see on Fox Kids.
Yeah.
Like, because at least those are all choreographed. This was, like, they were just, like, go, and it was, like, something we would have had in, like, middle school when we filmed. It was like, what? I put, dude, what the fuck? Jack loses his gun in a fight. This sucks. He's pretty much just relying on luck. He's like a character that has, like, in, like, Elder Scrolls or Fallout, that has, like, 0 stats and anything but luck. The luck is, like, 20, and, like, the mysterious stranger shows up all the time and kills the guy.
He's like Jack Burton, but not funny.
Right. He's just an asshole. Yeah. So he's like, I'm out of fucking weapons, or I'm out of bullets. And then he, like, is like, just kidding. The gun that you were going to shoot me with only has 7 bullets in it. And he's like, he relied on the luck that, you know, there wouldn't be another bullet in the chamber, I guess. And so the guy pulls the trigger, and then he beats his ass, and then he empties 7 bullets into a dude.
Overkill.
So he wastes all his bullets that fucking he had, and he says, after he says, show me your paws. I was like, and he kills him, and he's like, you shouldn't have done that. Because he threw, like, a knife at him, and it, like, fucking fucked him up. And I was like, dude, yeah, he gets out of this somehow at the end, and I just don't understand it. Like, he's the luckiest motherfucker. Like,
yeah.
That'd be one thing if, like, this was, like, a movie where you're like, okay, Jack Wilde, like, maybe his name isn't Crackerjack, maybe it's something else, like Lucky Jack or something like that.
Or Jack Aces Wild.
Right. Because then, like, and his inherent, like, superpower or whatever is that he is lucky. Like, everything goes his way, and it could almost be played for laughs and stuff. But this is just, like, there's no explanation, but
That's
he's
just
always...
shoddy.
Right. Also, I thought it was funny that, like, earlier in the movie when he's watching all the fucking people being killed and their hostages, he's like,
yeah,
and then later on he returns to the scene of the crime and he looks down and is like, hey, what the fuck you guys doing down there? Just so they can, like, know where he is. Like, what? Once again I was like, what is the plan here? Like,
exposes his position. It'd be like if John McClane was like, hey, I'm up here.
Yeah. Also thought it was funny when like, the old dude, like, fucking, like, dies, and he's just like, I have my redemption. Like, he saved a baby, and he thought that was going to get him into, like, heaven, and I was like, huh? He's like, I have mercy.
Too little, too late.
Right. Guy gets shot, and they use, like, a GoldenEye death sound. The guy's like, ooh!
Yeah.
I was
noticed
like,
that too.
dude!
It was all over the place in these movies.
Also, the excessive amount of gun cocking when, like, there was no reason to have that happen. It was just like...
It looks so cool.
I was like, dude, what the... And it was like, Jack swims in the pool. It was like, okay. Son of a bitch, he did it. And I'm like, he did what you asked him to do? Like, okay. Like, he, like, blew up... He, like, turned the lights off or whatever so that the helicopters could land and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, son of a bitch, he did it. I'm like, okay.
Do we go past the part where they, like, blow up the cable car thing? Or, like, cut the cables so it falls?
I think that might be a little bit later because that, like, this is the beginning, towards the beginning where, like, people try to land and, like, the guy's like, the helicopter finally, he's like, oh, what's going on down here? And fucking, he's like, they got an RPG! And they just blow him up because, like you were saying, yeah, later on, they're like, he's like, you can either take me or you can save the, you know, the SEALs team or whatever that's coming in to, like, stop me or whatever that's on, like, the fucking Roddy McDowell cable car. But go ahead and talk about it.
I just thought it was hilarious because I love in any movie where, like, a bunch of people are, like, in a thing and they're like, ah! Yeah. I was laughing so hard. It was so stupid.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, don't even. They were just like, ah!
I found it hilarious.
I thought this line was weird. I have a man here with the muzzle of a pistol to his brain. I said, his brain? Not his head?
That was different.
Also, this movie was so, like, generic to a degree that I thought the guy that killed earlier was his brother, but it was just some random guy. So I was like, wait, did they just randomly off his brother? But that's something that happens later where, like, they kill him, but then you find out, oh, they actually shot, like, his flask, and I was like, dude, this is so made for TV, where, like, this could have actually been played for something, but, like, instead it was, like, total kids movie shit. Oh, yeah, but it was, like, who's this for? Because there's fucking people being blown away, there's full frontal fucking, like, toplessness, there's fucking, you know, all this shit, and then there's, like, a joke death at the end? Like, huh?
One thing that actually could have made some impact, his brother taking a bullet for him, but no.
That was actually, like, the only time in this entire film at the end when I, like, actually kind of got a little emotional, because he was like, I love you. And I was like, holy shit. Because that's the whole thing throughout this whole movie, is that, like, him and his brother are at odds, which it's more so Jack is an asshole, and for no reason is angry at his brother. It's not like his brother, like, was like, here, I sent your wife away, you know, with a ticket with your two sons, you know, to save them, and they ended up dying because of it or something, and he could somehow be like, if you hadn't done, you know, he had nothing to do with it. No. So it was like, why is he pissed at him? It's like, he's an addict, and they're trying to help him, and he's like, you're a fucking piece of shit. I'm like, what? So one of the people in here I've actually met in this film.
Oh, yeah.
Scott McNeil plays Rex, one of the random henchmen in the film, and I met him because he played Bone Steel in the live-action Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation Fox show they did with, like, the female turtle. I met him, like, years and years ago at, like, Ohio Con in, like, 2016 or something. Nice guy.
Get to ask him about Crackerjack.
Yeah, before I even knew existed. But I was just like, you know, he was a nice guy and everything, but, like, anytime I hear his voice, like, he was in Transformers at one point too, as, like, the primal version and stuff, and but I was just like, I heard him talk, and I was like, wait a minute, and I saw him, and I was like, dude, holy shit.
Nice. That's cool.
They set an avalanche to go off to destroy the resort, and to make it look like a natural disaster, killed the mob, and when it finally happens in this film, it's like, this is like Roger Corman, like, level. I mean, that's an insult to him, I guess, Roger Corman, but, like...
The miniatures were miniature.
Yeah, they were miniature. That's for sure. I will have to give this first one
I thought
props
it was quaint,
because they do that, but in the second one, they kind of do stuff where they use obvious CG explosions, and it's so
horrible
shit.
Yep.
Because you can use that stuff and not really even tell, and in the second one, it's so fucking obvious. It's like, old freaky dude kissing dude, and he says some of the weirdest stuff. He's like, he's kissing. Wait, okay, hold on. This old, like, dude is kissing, like, the woman, like the Jack's love interest, I guess. In this.
Old dude is kissing dude.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, why did it?
Dude kisses dude.
Dude kisses dude. Dude kisses woman. Plane versus car. He says, "Do you like that?" I went, okay, whatever, that's not, like, a too weird of a line. He says, "Do you want me to give it to you?" I said, huh? And he said, "Do you love me?" And I went, what? Like, they literally just met, and you're essentially raping her. And he says, "I bet you're a screamer, aren't you? Let's rock!"
That was hilarious.
But he didn't say it like that. Like, I mean, it would have been...
It was still outrageous.
Yeah, it would have been actually funny if he said it like that.
Let's rock.
And then he's like, if you like me, then why did you fucking, you know, have this knife? And I'm like, this movie fucking sucks because this is so, like, how the fuck did he even know? Like, this is just, like, a movie of convenience. It should have been called, like, We Don't Give a Fuck. Yeah. We will watch this because Tig's in it. I mean, that's essentially what happened.
It is. That's how they got us.
Yeah.
30 years later, but they got us.
Yeah. So I guess the diamonds... So that's the whole thing. This guy's holding up this whole fucking place for fucking diamonds. And I was like, there's gotta be easier ways to get fucking diamonds.
It was quite an elaborate plan.
And, like, but you find out, like, the diamonds are in, like, ice or something? And I was like, what if somebody had like swallowed all those diamonds, like, or something, you know, or I mean the ice. Not like someone's back there like, doom. But like, you know, if you're drinking something, you know, I don't know. I guess maybe if you put it in it would eventually melt, and you'd be like, oh shit, there's diamonds in here. But like, yeah, the whole thing was like super convoluted, and then this is something that happens in the sequel too, where the bad guy for no reason kills his own henchman, and I'm like, dude, this is like the most generic dog shit, like, because they don't believe in the cause, and I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about right now? Like there's a cause to this? It's just you're being a fucking thief, like.
I thought Christopher Plummer was bad in this. Like, he's usually great, but
I
he
couldn't
kind of
even
embarrasses
understand what the
himself.
fuck he was trying to do.
He was doing some kind of weird accent.
Yeah, but it was like sometimes wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was like, sometimes he wasn't doing shit. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But like the helicopter pilot comes in for a pickup for the bad guy, and Jack had put all these flares next to the flagpoles. He goes, happy landings. And he runs off, and I'm just thinking, I had to rewind it a couple times, and I was thinking, so this guy's showing up to like take like the bad guys away because they have the diamonds and stuff, but if like Jack didn't set up the flares, he wouldn't have been able to land, like, and nobody set this shit up ahead of time. So how the fuck was that gonna work? He was just was the plan like, so if the lights go out, we're gonna set up flares? Like, what? I was thinking, like, this makes no sense. And then the guy, of course, he comes down and he hits the helicopter blade, hits this fucking like wooden flagpole, and it makes the fucking helicopter fucking implode.
Dude, that was hilarious.
I was like, the guy's like, yo! But yeah, like we said earlier, the dude, like, he's pathetic. Jack is saved by a still alive henchman after the main boss counters him, holding a shotgun to his head. That's another thing we didn't talk about, is like, not only does he lose to the fucking main bad guy, but like, he had the upper hand on him with a shotgun to his head while he was on the ground, and he somehow fucking countered him. I was like, what?
Yeah. You had him on the ropes.
Yeah. I also thought it was funny that they had like a million years to outrun this avalanche when that would have been like totally not possible. Yeah. They, especially with, there was old people too with them. Yeah. Like, everybody get into the hot springs cave. And of course they're like, you know, they're snowed in, and then Jack. I just realized the same thing happens in the fucking sequel where like they get, fucking blocked in. Mm-hmm. But the snow fucking essentially destroys the model resort and fucking snows them in, and then fucking Jack comes in through the fucking, you know, hot spring like, I'm here.
Oh, the weather outside.
Yeah. Carolyn, I think I'm gonna move on, as he almost throws his fucking ring away. Mm-hmm. And the girl like his, you know, lady friend or whatever that's like gonna be his girlfriend now, presumably, is like, you know, you don't have to let go of the past to make yourself a future.
I like that line.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then they instantly shit all over it in the sequel when, like, fucking, it's a completely different girl. Like, he's still fucking pining for his fucking wife. And I'm like, dude, just move past this shit.
Should we get into Crackerjack 2?
Yeah.
Because if you thought 1 was bad...
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Crackerjack 2 starts with the fucking Crackerjack 1 theme kind of remixed a little bit, which I was like, this is kind of cool. But then it's instantly fucking shit on because the CGI train credits. I was like, oh my god.
So I watched this on Prime. I don't know how you watched it, but
yeah, my
version was like messed up. It had a weird like strobe effect the whole time.
Oh, really?
It was really bad.
I watched it on... I started watching the first one on Prime, but I couldn't take screenshots, so I switched over to Plex, because they were both on Plex.
Well, I guess I messed up, because Prime, the version sucks. There's like a problem with it, and like every few frames it would like skip or...
No, there was a problem with this film because fucking Plex.
It was made.
Yeah. But,
dude, the quality level on this is like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it's gone way down. Like, it's like you thought that...
It's like barely a movie.
Because, like, in the first one I was watching it, and I was like, this is kind of like... It's not bottom of the barrel, but it just seems so cheap. But, like, I was not prepared for how much cheaper it could get and straight to fucking, like, home video fare. Because this was, like... The first one, they actually had like a resort, like a set or whatever, like a mansion that they were all in and stuff, and other sets here and there and stuff. This was literally all in like a fucking like industrial underground bunker the whole time.
Yeah, nothing more exciting than a gray, dull bunker.
Right, and not like Day of the Dead where like that's the character itself. It was like, this was like, you know, it was both a bunker and like a shit set at the same time. I was like,
calling this movie Hostage Train is a straight up lie.
Right.
Because there's no hostage train.
There's
in the movie
hostages,
Hostage Train.
and there's a train for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Should be called Hostage Bunker.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where, like, thinking back on it, I was like, would this movie have been better if it was set on a train the whole time? Like, maybe, but they probably wouldn't have done it because it would have cost money.
Yeah.
There's
just enough train footage in this to like put it in a trailer and fool people into thinking it's a
like us.
Cool movie on a train, like Under Siege 2, Dark Territory.
Dude, why does Judge Reinhold he's like looks lost right off the bat in this fucking film? There's like, he's looking down on the fucking bad guys do some heinous deeds, and he's like, why are you like looking like you don't know what's going on? Like.
I will admit, I kind of liked him in this. Like, I thought he was funny. He wasn't good.
It's right. I mean, like, he was funny, but it wasn't like...
He was, like, hamming it up to be just, like, a goof the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is not as good as what Tig was doing, but it was at least funny.
I mean, it was funny in the respect that, like, if he hadn't done that, this would have been, like, the worst film I've ever watched. But, like, that's like saying, like, it was funny when that dog took a shit. It was like... You know, I agree, though. I mean, like, if he hadn't been acting like a total buffoon, I would have fucking been completely...
That's a good way to describe
I would have been completely pissed the whole time. Like, he's the saving grace.
Yeah.
But not in a good way. I mean, he is, but he isn't. Like,
there's nothing to save.
His acting is shit, but, like, his buffoonery makes up for it, kind of, I guess, if that's... Mm-hmm. He pulls his gun out and it makes a cock sound effect. This is the first of many fucking stock cocking sound effects in this film.
And they're all poorly mixed.
Oh, very much so. It's like...
That's the loudest cock I've ever heard.
Someone's talking and then you just hear... and I'm like,
One thing I did appreciate is, like, all the bad guys in this movie seem like they exclusively use clobs. I've never seen that before in a movie. Like,
so do the good guys, because, dude, there was a part in this that gave me fucking, like, I was flipping the fuck out in this first little bit, where all the guys on the same side, the good guys, start coming in these police vests, and they're all shooting. And there are dudes moving in front of each other while they're shooting, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking amateur hour over here.
It really is.
Like, these are literally just dudes they got in, like, the Czech Republic off the street, and we're like, okay, put on this shit.
No one in either of these movies looks like they've ever handled a gun before.
Oh no, yeah, never handled a gun. Never, obviously never, like, they don't know gun safety. That's for damn sure. It's just like a shit show.
Yeah.
Judge Reinhold's stuntman jumps into an obvious crash pad.
Yeah.
And you can pause it and see it's totally not him. I was like, okay, this is made a turn from, like, you know, in Crackerjack they're playing it for seriousness, and it's just low budget.
Yeah.
And this is like they're trying to be serious, but they know they have Judge Reinhold, so he's literally just doing whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, Jack going to jail, and then he just he gets let go, and then he handcuffs this other guy, and he's like, it's going to take the FAA 3 months to reconstruct your flat asses if you don't get out of there. And fucking, because, like, there's, like, I guess C4 in there, and it, like, blows up. And as, like, these guys are escaping, the guys on his team, like, and somehow, like, living from that, he's like, like, I was right. And I'm like, okay. What'd you think about Jack fucking Mike Myersing his girlfriend for no reason at the beginning? He, like, sneaks in through the window, Marty McFly style, and then it's just like goes to kiss her, and then, like, so apropos in these films, it's like he She wakes up right before. It's like, okay. Also, the fucking dude, this was fucking making me flip out when he was wearing this. He comes into the room, they turn the lights on, and you see that he's wearing a long sleeve white t-shirt that's like 3 sizes too big for him, but then a t-shirt that's the same, that's like his appropriate size. So the sleeves are like poofing out. And it's like he's doing his best Fire Mario suit fucking like cosplay over here, and it just looks like shit. I'm like, dude, the fucking short sleeve over the long
90s.
sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't that, it's the fact that it's not a fitted, like, everybody knows that the bottom shirt has to be like tighter than the fucking top shirt.
Not
Like,
Jack Wild. That's why they call him Jack Wild.
I'm getting pissed just talking about this. Like,
I love how that's the like most
well,
offensive.
it's because it's shit! It's fucking pissing me off. Like, I look at it and it's just like the dumbest looking shit I've ever seen. Like, I don't know why it just gets to me whenever I see that. Like,
I definitely had that exact same white baggy
well, yeah,
shirt, but I didn't put a tight
right,
t-shirt on
I'm
top
like,
of it.
come on. Like, his mom should have been like, dude, don't fucking wear that shit today. Like, of course, they do another flashback to his wife. I will have to say they must have had the rights on like fucking Howling 2, where they had to reconstruct it, so they use it again of his wife being blown up in the first film, and afterwards he's like smiling, but then he's just like, I've fucking never gotten over it. And it's like, we were led to believe that he moved past it, so much so that he was going to take his ring off in the first film. And in this film, they're like, just kidding. Like,
Yep.
okay,
Reset.
yeah. And I was just like, okay, I'll fucking hope for this movie fucking is gone.
One thing that was so funny in this is like it's the scene where they're like learning about the villains and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're looking like at an image of the bad guy, and they're like, enhance.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
I knew it was gonna happen,
Yeah.
but I was like, oh, please do this.
Yeah,
Like, enhance.
Jack uses a bullshit program on his old ass PC called Zoom It. It clears up an image, then he uses another program, Phone Dex, while it plays porno barbecue joint music in the fucking background while he's in his fucking underwear. And I was like, he fights this guy in his tidy whities,
I like that
and he wins, unlike the last film where Tig ate shit.
underwear fight.
You like that he was in his underwear?
I did. I don't think I'd seen that before.
Interesting. I think the most I laughed in this film was when fucking they're torturing this guy. And they have gauze in his mouth, and the funny thing is you don't know why he has gauze in his mouth till like later in the film. But like, when this guy's being fucking tortured and shit, he's like, ew, ew, and he looks like Daddy fucking Warbucks over here. They're fucking torturing his ass, and I'm like, it's just this guy is hamming it up, and they're just acting like it's no big deal, and I'm like,
Should we sample
Why?
the Crackerjacks?
Yeah, why
In
not?
honor of Crackerjack 2, one of the crappiest movies we watched.
Also, there's a scene where like his girlfriend is like in her like, this is another 90s thing, silk lingerie.
Oh yeah.
Lingerie in general for women. These people are like, all of his fucking co-workers at the police station come into his house and are peeping on his girlfriend and shit. And I'm like, okay. Like, that is just so fucked up, I guess, to me. Thank you.
All cracker, no Jack.
I don't think this is anything new these days. Cracker Jacks. I mean, it's just caramel corn with what's this in it? With what, peanuts or something?
Mm-hmm.
Also, that
It comes
song,
with a prize.
"Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Get Me Some Peanuts and Cracker Jacks." Just buy Cracker Jacks. They have peanuts in them. What the fuck are you talking about? I just now thought of that. I was like, what?
Oh. Dude, this is sad.
Is it just like a book or something?
It's worse than that. It's a link to a website. Visit crackerjack.com. Follow the directions. Start playing. We've reached a new low in society. They're pretty good, though.
Dude, that's hilarious. I thought you said I'd be disappointed.
Well, this was the last box I had was super stale. This isn't too stale.
Where did you get these from? Online? Okay. First box was probably stale as fuck. I guess that sucks. I wonder what happened. Just like Bill Murray, it was lost in translation. So in this film, they ratcheted it up because in the first one, it was just like topless. Judge walks into the room and his friend Maury is having sex with like some chick, and you literally see where they're fucking connected and shit. It's like, okay, and it's like they're connected. I'm connected.
I can see where they're connected.
I need an adult. And fuck. This character Maury is somebody. It's like, here's more shit we didn't. He's apparently his best friend, but he never called him in Crackerjack 1. He just kind of shows up, and did you get the feeling that this character was kind of like a weird Jewish stereotype at all? Like the name and just kind of the way he was like. Yeah. You know,
there was something going on there.
It wasn't like out of control. They weren't like having him be like, you know, like I like money or some bullshit like that. But it was definitely like, I think the actor was probably trying to push against it because there were parts where, you know, he was kind of a nerd, but then there were parts where like he was a badass. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I appreciated him at least not, you know. So one thing that I didn't appreciate, maybe you will like this part. Who knows? We'll find out. Jack and Maury randomly sing some random army jingle that they like came up with years ago in the helicopter, where they're like, Jack and Maury fucking gonna come in and blow everybody up, and I was like I didn't know they were in the army. I thought they were just I thought he was just a policeman, so I guess maybe he was in the army at some point. But this movie like does the classic tell don't show. Yeah, it's like cool. ADR. Hey, what are you guys doing here? Fucking guy gets reamed by an Uzi. His face when he gets shot, he's like... like, that's the face I would make right before I got fucking killed. I'd be like, I'm fucked. Judge Reinhold starts hanging from a chopper 10 years before he has to. Like, they haven't even started lowering yet, and he's already out there, like, fucking swinging around and shit.
It had the potential to be some cool stunt work, but it was so shoddy. Like, you don't even really see the stunt where he goes.
We don't have the insurance. We don't have the fucking brain power. We don't have the time to shoot this properly. Yeah. Which is a shame. Like you said, there could have been, like, there was some potential there. Yeah. It sucks because if this was truly on a train, like, dude, that's cool because it also gives you the feeling of progression. You're going somewhere, moving, not just stagnant as fuck.
Right. They did it great in Under Siege too. Like they're on top of the train, on the side of the train, fall off the train,
even
go
the
back
stuff
to the
in
train.
Broken Arrow, like anything where it's like, you know, even in
the
like,
General
the
with
stuff
Buster
in
Keaton
Hal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just stuff where it's like, I don't know.
This will make you feel
Back
better.
to the Future 3 too.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'll just read the reception on Wikipedia for this movie.
The reception.
Hostage Train received overwhelmingly negative reviews. Alan Levine of the Arizona Republic found the film offered no redeeming qualities while suffering from corny dialogue and dumb plot. Video Movie Guide was unimpressed with Judge Reinhold's turn as an action star and summed up the film as much ado about nothing. There's not even much ado.
That guy smells his own farts.
I know. Simplistic screenplay, rudimentary direction, and banal performances.
Okay, fuck off. Banal performances.
I wouldn't describe Judge Reinhold as banal in this movie. He's hamming it up to 11.
Banal performances. What does that even mean?
Like bland or boring. Like nothing to it.
Yeah, nothing to it but to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't say like Judge Reinhold is like like, his character is bland because they completely erase anything he had in the first film.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, his acting is like a child learning how to act. He's like, ooh. Or like a fucking ape could have done this. It was like hilarious. Yeah, we talked about the CGI in this film. There's like CGI tunnel explosions where they essentially are just like, we don't have the time or the money to actually blow something up, so we're just gonna cover up the before and after shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Yeah, once the train scene was over and they get into the bunker, that's when I was kind of out. Like, it's just bunker antics for the rest of the movie, and it's really boring.
Yeah, and there's no... It's like, yeah, literal fucking... Yeah. It's funny because, like, for the longest time, once they get into the bunker, Judge Reinhold doesn't really do anything. He's just, like, looking around.
Hanging around.
He's, like, fucking... It's like he's, like, in a force field or some shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta decipher these hieroglyphics before I fucking go anywhere or do anything. They once again watched the tape of the guy getting comically killed, and I fucking laughed hardcore again. This was like something straight out of fucking like something we would have filmed back in the day, maybe even today. I don't know, but like, so they're all talking like, "What's going on here?" And you know, like this one guy is just like, "Well, I know, but you know, these tunnels are like, you know, this and that." Like, how do you know so much? And he's like, walks to the other side, because I'm the bad guy. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? He was like hiding in there with them, and he's like, I just wanted to make sure that nobody was like knew anything. And I was like, why don't you just mic the fucking room up?
Much ado about nothing.
Right. Think of me as an investment banker because I'm banking on your investments.
Nice.
Okay. Like, no shit. Another classic thing here is that, like, Judge is hunched over in the hallway using a Zippo to light the way. Which is funny, because there's a part earlier when he turns the Zippo on and it lights the entire room up. And then this scene, he's hunched over, but he's hunched over in a hallway where he could easily stand up. Like, I think they just couldn't get, like, a crawl space, like in Die Hard. And, like, so he's, like, going like this. And the fucking room, like, where they're filming it from is, like, light. So, like, he could literally just look ahead of him and see where he was going. And, like, the funniest part about that is, like, earlier in the film, it lights up a whole room. But in this, it's like the Zippo doesn't even light up right in front of his face. I was cracking up. Because he walks all the way to this fucking shit and is like, oh. And I'm like, what? They're trying to get this catchphrase over from his friend Maury. Not too goddamn likely. I was like, okay, dude. That ain't going on a t-shirt.
No. I just found that character annoying and unnecessary.
Especially at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, him and the one guy fucking, yeah. Random.
Shut up!
Ransom. You're not gonna steal from me! Fuck you, asshole! And then they start pulling his teeth and he's like, okay. I just put, Jack Wild ain't doing shit. He says, I was a Boy Scout. His girlfriend says, you were? And I'm like, riveting dialogue over here. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no okay. You were. Cool. Like, why was that even brought up? It's like, later on, I guess he uses, like, SOS, but, like, couldn't he have learned that in the possible army or something? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think a lot of people who aren't Boy Scouts know
right.
how to do SOS and Morse code.
He's like, SOS. Woman molests man's bride. I went, okay. This is another thing where it's like, they have the woman henchman, and it's like, she's crazy. She's a fucking torturer. She likes women. I'm like, okay, like,
Such depravity.
right. Didn't they have like a woman henchman in the first film?
Yeah, I liked her. She was the
I
one
did
who was
too.
reading out the roll call, and she was
Yeah.
like, I'm playing this very tough.
Yeah, she was like, everybody in here, like, she had like a very deep voice,
Yeah.
and I was like, I like this character, but they did fuck all of her. I was like, okay. She just gets like sidelined by like a ghost fart at one point or something. Jack's playing peekaboo with a guard, then lights his ass on fire, and the guy on fire is like, yeah, help me, yeah. And then he does like a Michael Jackson jump in the air. He's like, yeah, and fucking then they kill him. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah.
That was an LOL moment.
Like, boom
for me.
But like this right here, where they're literally fucking looking at each other, and he's like, "There's no one here." I go, what?
Dude.
This was like Baby's first haunted house. Like he was hiding behind like fucking cardboard boxes and like shit that people would definitely see him. It's like, kid says, "That's Morse code," and they're like, "That's ridiculous. Get this fucking kid out of here." Like, what are you talking about? It's ridiculous. Like, that's ridiculous. But people hijacking a train and doing all this other bullshit is totally fucking normal. Like, this kid's fucking ruining everything. Toy trains? Then they treat it like it's like the biggest joke of all time that this guy is like, has toy trains with him or whatever. And like 5 seconds later, his girlfriend's like, "I'm sad," or "I'm scared." And I'm like, oh my god. She starts crying for no fuck. What'd you think about her, by the way?
She was not good.
Yeah. I think she was like easy on the eyes, but other than that. 4th time showing his wife blowing up in the car. Cool, we got it. She's dead. Like,
that was ridiculous.
Jack gets knocked the fuck out, and the henchman says, "Jack, what makes you think your wife's death was an accident?" I was like, that was cool if they hadn't already found out that, like, the guy in the last film was the reason why his wife's dead. Like, what?
He's like, Blofeld, "I am the architect of your pain, James."
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's not earned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just unnecessary.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, so like, how many people were in collusion to fucking kill his wife? Like, I don't get this. Like, what's the point? Also, all these people, like, this one guy's the first movie's part of a terrorist sect. This guy in the second film is, like, part of, like, a scheme to, like, get all these, like, rich people's money. So, like, how do those people, like, come together to be, like, they're not part of the mob. That
it was so stupid.
Yeah, it's like, so there was a fucking, like, you know, Spectre organization decided to fucking kill his wife? Like, what are you talking about?
No, the only thing this character can be about is his wife being killed.
Right. In the first film, it makes sense. In the second film, it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
That bad guy was played by Carl Rodin, who we'll see again next week. Spoiler alert.
He's like, oh, the main boss.
And he also was Rasputin in Hellboy.
Oh, nice. He's like, "I'm Rasputin, baby." Main boss betrayed his henchman, just like the last film.
Yep.
Cool. Who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Jack blows up the man who killed his wife. The bad. So this bad guy looks at this fucking ladder to, like, leave, and he says, "My stairway to heaven."
That was fun.
And I was like,
meanwhile, I'm in hell.
it's a ladder, but okay. Dude leads them to a dead end that's caved in, and he says, "Holy shit!" I went, okay.
The appropriate reaction.
Yeah. Says, you know, you're watching a good film when one of my notes says, "Dude, the end of this film just feels like it's going on forever."
It did. But I did think it was funny how Jack got his ass handed to him by an old man.
Dude, so, like, what's with them using the biggest trope in fucking movies here at the end, where, like, not only does the main boss, but, like, the girlfriend of the main boss that he himself fucking betrays and kills for no reason. Like, there's no fucking reason why he does this. They both go out like the Joker from Batman or like the dude from Turtles 3, where they just go down a long thing and disappear.
They fall very slowly.
Yeah.
Like, ah!
Right. Like,
that was so crappy.
they use it twice. Like, why
funny.
use it twice? Like, I don't know, but, like, I put nerd fight over radio. Yeah.
That annoyed me. I was like, I
Yeah.
wish this was not in this movie.
The disc blows up in the dude's face, and somehow Jack doesn't get the upper hand, like we said. It was like, his girlfriend almost gets pulled off a cliff, and he says, "Let her go," while he has a gun to his head, and I was thinking, weren't you trying to kill him the whole time? Why don't you just blow his fucking head off? Like, as soon as you kill him, he's gonna let go. Like, Not only that, but it's not like she was hanging on and he was hanging on to... Her whole weight was essentially past, like, over the bar, so there's no way that he would have been able to pull her anyway down. So I was like, just fucking plug his ass. And for no reason, he just, like, lets go like he's spiritually awoken or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this shit? Like, they tried to make him think that, like, he was... I don't know, like, he was fucking...
It was utter nonsense.
Yeah, it was like, what is going on here? And then, like, yeah, I don't know, the fucking fight at the end with the fucking nerds. I was like, okay. Wasn't needed. But I think that's the end, for the most part. I can't really think of anything else that happens for this movie.
I don't have much else to say about it.
Well, I can't even remember what else happens after they get out. I guess that's just it. There's no riding off into the sunset for this shit.
Until Crackerjack 3.
Yeah. Crackerjack 3, which is about, like, it's like an assembling of the Avengers of fucking dog shit.
Yeah. So, we pretty much trashed these movies for a long time, but I was thoroughly entertained by Crackerjack. I was partially entertained by Crackerjack 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend either. But unless you're a TIG fan like us, I would say check out Crackerjack.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're a TIG fan, you've probably already seen Crackerjack. What we're talking about is nothing new. It's funny whenever I post about, like, Thomas Ian Griffith stuff, like, it usually gets some of the more likes and stuff.
Nice.
Because I think there's more people that are fans of his. It's just he hasn't done as much stuff as people, would hope and stuff. Judge Reinhold was just fucking embarrassing himself in the second film.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the only thing that was really keeping me watching the film, because the bad guys were not anything special, and
there's nothing in this movie you haven't seen done better a million times.
Right,
before.
there's not a single thing. Like, even Judge Reinhold's ridiculous performance, it's like,
it's not worth it.
Right, exactly.
So I think I'll go maybe 4.95 for 2.
Yeah.
And 7.95 for 1.
Yeah.
I liked it.
You sure did.
1, that is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It hurts me to fucking even rate this first one because I like Thomas Ian Griffith so much, but, like, I'll probably do, like, a fucking, like, probably, like, a 5 for Crackerjack, because that movie sucked dick for the most part. And the second one is like a fucking 2.
That's fair.
It sucks because Thomas Ian Griffith is like a 9, but the rest of the movie sucks for the most part.
It did.
And Judge Reinhold is a fucking like -20, so fuck him. It sucks because I really haven't seen anything else with him in it, so I don't really.
I
know
just
what to
watched
compare him to.
Vice Versa, which was great.
Yeah.
He's in that movie.
What the fuck is going on here?
He's a yuppie. It's
Yeah.
like Big, kind of.
Yeah.
He's a yuppie, and his son is Fred Savage, and they switch bodies. So
it's like Freaky Friday.
Yeah, exactly. But he was great at playing like a kid in an adult's
It's funny
body.
because from
really
what
funny.
I've seen, like clips and stuff of like his performances, like he generally plays like a kid, childish character in a lot of his films. Not like
Even Beverly Hills Cop.
he's not like Zachary Levi, where they're like, "Hey, we're gonna cast him as a fucking child in like a book that's made for kids, like as an adult." But like Tom Hanks, like you said in Big, where like he's able to tap into that like childlike wonder, which is fine and stuff. I just think that like I just didn't buy him as an action guy in this because
No, not believable.
he's a fucking child.
Yeah.
I mean, not like in real life, but like his strengths are in acting kind of more aloof and like that kind of thing. Like, I don't know how he is in the Beverly Hills movies, but
He's really good.
I'm assuming
he was even
probably
good in the
plays
new
same
one,
way in that.
but he was barely in it. But his scenes were some of the best in the movie. I usually like him. Like I said, Vice Versa was actually I really liked a lot. So watch that and not Crackerjack.
Yeah.
So what's on tap for next week?
Oh my god.
Another episode in the books.
Oh man, I'll tell you, what a great episode too.
Thanks for telling me. I agree. Hey, I never noticed that. What's that cable there on the ground?
Huh.
Has that been there? It's been there the whole time.
Yeah, why don't you guys check it out?
Okay.
Just gonna get ready for the next episode, I guess.
No! Not you! Mike, get out of there! 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 Where you are, get out! Get up and walk away! Get out!
Nice lighting.
my face is a little dark.
Dark, man, over here.
Lightroom. Alright, another episode in the books.
I agree.
It was a good one.
Yep.
Hey, I never know.
Let's do that again. What does that mean? I agree? I agree there was an episode.
Yeah.
Get ready for the next episode, I guess. I'm getting ready for the next episode.
Like how?
Yeah.
Get out of there! Get out of there! Get out, was a good one.
Hi! That's what we're getting blown up to, I guess.
I guess
okay, you can't see her.
You can't
okay.
see her.
Oh. Hey, I'll do that.
That's good. You do another? Get out and do a couple more. Get out of there!
Tonight, we found ourselves on the crossroads of action and intrigue. Having journeyed through the wild twists and turns of Crackerjack and its sequel, Thomas Ian Griffith has carried us through snowy mountain resorts and deadly confrontations. But, as the dust settles, the shadows of the unknown begin to stir. In this realm, nothing is as it seems. Each film, a door, and each door opens into the heart of October, where ghosts and ghouls prepare their grand entrance. Buckle in, because we're on the cusp of Halloween month, and what awaits is far more sinister than a lone action hero in peril. Tonight's final words, before we descend into horror: you've only just begun the journey. Welcome to the Bloody Expanse.
It is now approaching Halloween month. Well, we're going to do it right every night. And we're going to do a week called Stuck in the Warehouse Week. And I'm hopefully this
Stuck
actually
in
makes
a
sense.
warehouse with you.
Hopefully this actually works, because I haven't seen either one of these, but there are warehouses.
I have.
So both of them.
Yep.
Nice. Just recently, or
No, it's been a while.
you've seen? But you already saw One Cut of the Dead a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice bullshit. Not true. Yeah, One Cut of the Dead and Frankenstein's Army, which it's funny because I saw that there's a movie that was made at one point called Frankenstein Armies, and it's like a Civil War thing, and I was like, what?
Was it Army of Frankensteins? Because I saw
Maybe, yeah,
there's a
maybe.
movie called Army of Frankensteins.
Yeah, and I was like, and I'm like,
I've not
I'm
seen that.
pretty sure this was made to like get people at Walmart or
Yeah.
something, like when they make like they re-release something and call it something else when like Shrek comes out or something, and they're like, you know, Ogre or something, and it's like at Walmart to trick some grandmas to get it for their kids.
Exactly.
Or not their kids, their grandkids. I'm like, here you go, 40-year-old. Yeah, we're gonna do it. That'll be our first week. It'll be fun.
Double feature.
Weeks of hell.
But we'll be in heaven
to enjoy. Hopefully.
Cool.
Yeah, I think only one of these I've actually ever seen.
Dude, nice.
So
it's gonna be a good month.
as far as the entire month or whatever. So it's our finale. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Join us, won't you, for scares and delights, cheers and frights. Halloween month is coming close. Are you ready for a Buddy Shot scary dose?
The podcast is haunted. Bye.
Emotion is feeling so high. 9.95 in overdrive. Put your body in overdrive. 9.95.